Welcome to the Gospel Liberty Podcast. Thank you for joining us for another episode. Secretly recording conversations. I wonder if any of you listening have ever thought about that, thought about doing it, or if it's ever happened to you, or if something, or what your thoughts are about it. Because I just ChatGPT'd states where it's legal. So there's two different laws here. There's one-party consent, and then there's all-party consent. One-party consent means that if you are a party to a conversation, that only one of the parties needs to consent to recording the conversation in order for the conversation to be legally recorded. Now, most of these states that are one-party consent states, it's illegal to secretly record a conversation that you are not a party to. So pretty much everyone agrees with that you know, you can't tap somebody else's, set up a microphone on somebody's back porch and then, run away quickly and click record, and then you're over across the street and you're recording someone's conversation on their deck. Or you're at the coffee shop
and then you just try to record the, couple
sitting at the table next to you.
a diagonal to you,
right.
You can't,
Yeah, that one is complicated though too, because they might say, oh, is that in public? So then therefore you should assume that it can be recorded. So the different states have different laws there. But then the other side is two-party consent or all-party consent, where these states have laws that a conversation cannot be recorded unless everyone who is in the conversation agrees to it being recorded. And our position, what we think is biblical and wise and makes for the highest trust society, is all-party consent.
Totally.
Where if you are in a conversation and someone wants to record it, they should have to disclose to you that they are recording the conversation.
Just like when you call customer service, which, happens to me all the time.
Yes.
And, I'm on the phone and then, they say the same thing every single time, please, understand that this call is being recorded
for quality and training purposes.
Or quality and training purposes.
Right. And so why do you think they tell you that? Is it only because
for quality and training purposes?
Yeah.
No.
Or do they only tell you? Because they could do it. They could. It could be for quality and training purposes, but they could not tell you.
Well, but I mean, it must be because of the law. Right?
Maybe it's either because the law, or it's because they know that it's respectful to tell someone that you are recording it before you do it.
Totally.
And it's fascinating that some of these states, have all party consent when it comes to this. It says here.
What's the difference?
Well, it says in ChatGPT that 38 states have one party consent.
Oh my!
And the rest have two party, and it's a mix between.
Just kidding.
It's a mix between liberal and conservative states, so it's not necessarily all conservative states have this and all liberal states have this. The all party consent states are California, so you might think, oh, this is a liberal policy. You guys are promoting wokeness. No, but then Florida it has it too. And so Florida is one of the most conservative states.
Totally.
And they have all party consent. And then you say, oh, Illinois has it, and they're a really woke liberal state. But then you have Montana has all party consent. So
interesting.
There's a mixture of conservative and liberal states that have it. But it all boils down to the question of what would make a person record a conversation with someone without telling the other person that he is recording. What type of person is doing that? So, that's one question. What type of person does that?
A nut job.
Yeah. And then what is the reason for that to occur? Because in the Bible, you see the thrust of the Bible is toward openness and toward honesty. It condemns people who conceal things. So like Proverbs 10:18 talks about concealing hatred. The one who conceals hatred has lying lips. So that's someone who, you're concealing that you really hate someone, but you are coming across like, oh yeah, you love the person.
Yeah, I mean, it's just hypocrisy.
It's hypocrisy. It's hiding something. You really have a motive to go against the person, to bring the person down, but you're presenting to the person
like everything's just fine.
Yeah, exactly. That it's wonderful. Or you see Jeremiah 9:8. People speaking deceitfully. Or Psalm 35, they hide their net for me without cause. So it's kind of like a trap. They're setting they dug a pit for my soul, meaning they're setting a trap for someone. And that's what, or you see in 2 Corinthians 4:2, and this is more of a principle, but it follows from the principle. Paul says we've renounced disgraceful, underhanded ways, he says. So, how could someone make an argument that recording someone without their knowledge or consent, that's not underhanded, that's not, deceitful in some way? What's the reason for not telling the person?
Well, they're trying to cover something up.
It would seem that way, but they might
hide something, they might want to use it to I'm going to use this to pit the person against me or whatever the term is. Get them. I'm going to catch them in their tracks.
Yep. Then I can control the narrative. I can use this comment that they said out of context, or I can blackmail them. Maybe they'll say something about their company that they don't like. And then, now I have it. I have it on recording that they said something about their company that they don't like, that they work for. And now I can say, hey, you better come over and do this. Otherwise, I'm going to call your company and play the recording.
Expose it, for sure.
It's a way to control people, and it breaches trust. And to demonstrate this, I've said this to some people because we've been in situations where people have recorded people without their knowledge or consent.
I mean, sadly, it's happened to us before.
Yeah, right. And it completely destroys the trust.
Yes.
Because next time you're going to meet with someone, say it's someone new, for a new Christian in your area, imagine that he's recording the conversation before you go into it. And think of what that does to your mind of what the situation, what do you think of the person now? That he's recording the conversation without telling you. Are you more likely to be open with him, or are you more likely to kind of, pretend like you're on the news being interviewed or something, and that what you say, there's going to be some permanent record of that can be shared with other people. You're more likely to be slower to talk. You're more likely to, think, what is the angle that this person has? It creates distrust. And if you don't believe me, think about the ultimate situation of next time you have a conversation with your wife, say, even tell her, I'm going to be recording this conversation, honey.
Well, yeah, I was even going to say, what if, you're just, starting your tiff and, great. Now you're getting into it a little bit, and then you're like, all right, hon, let's record this. And you put it on the counter, and it's like, oh my,
that completely changes the dynamic of everything. That will just immediately
change what you say and what he says, or what both parties are going to say.
Yeah. And it would raise the question, like, why are you what?
Why are you recording? What is the reason?
Yes.
Why would you do that? Very, very strange.
Very, very strange. Yeah. Do you have some ulterior motive? Are you going to try to use this in a certain way? Or what is the purpose of it? It changes the whole dynamic. It destroys trust. And that is a situation where you told your wife that you are recording. If you don't tell your wife that you're recording and you record her, that is even crazier. It's like, once again, I can't even describe what type of person would do that. And
you have to be out of your mind. That's like
it's
very,
kind of a
very
psychotic,
yeah,
a psychotic type thing. So yeah, you're, the argument that they would say is, but the Bible talks about, you should be, you should weigh your words rightly, and you should, it's just creating a permanent trail of evidence for something, and you shouldn't say something that you're not, okay with being publicized anyway. But that's not necessarily the truth, because sometimes we speak to people, and we have to speak in a certain context of a relationship, And it's not always appropriate to speak the same thing to someone in private that you would also want to be shared on the news, for example.
Yes.
Like you should have private conversations with your spouse about a lot of different things that you are not okay with your neighbors hearing, that you're not okay with your employer hearing, for example. What if you're thinking about, potentially leaving your employer and taking another job at another company? And then, that's a conversation that you should be having privately with your spouse. And it's not okay if, that means that you're not a righteous person because we're just creating a trail of evidence. So you should be totally fine with your employer hearing that. No, you shouldn't. There's certain contexts where it only makes sense for this person to hear this at this time. And that doesn't mean it's gossip. It doesn't mean it's wrong. It just means it's not appropriate for
at
this party to hear what I'm saying.
For sure.
And that's why this whole, one party consent stuff, it should honestly be banned because it destroys trust, and it creates a low trust society, and it creates a situation where, you're actually harming people. And that's what the civil government should be doing. The civil government should be stopping people from harming others and punishing people who do harm others. That's the only purpose of the civil government. And this is exactly a situation that harms others. Once again, it's what's used for blackmail.
For sure.
And it's not, it destroys all relationships.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that, someone who is very controlling, just really wants to be in control and do it, or there's just too many things. I mean, it's what, I mean, as you're just, talking and discussing, it's like, oh, well, we are recording right now. We both have microphones in front of our faces and this is recording, but then it's just funny because I feel like I'm just talking to you, it's like, oh, we're just, and we both know it's being recorded, but I also, every time we do a podcast, I'm just talking to my husband. Yep. So we're just having a conversation. But then it's funny because, then this recording could be used to, give it to this person who is, now they know our view on something. And then if they, it's like it all this stuff can just be twisted and turned into something that is just completely unnecessary. Or maybe you and I wouldn't say, something right to the person's face if we were sitting right next to them based on who the person is, because, the certain relationship with the person. Yeah, maybe
it's not going to be a fruitful conversation in this context.
In the context. But then in this context, when you and I are just, recording this podcast in our home, we can say what we want to say and we can do the podcast because, then it's just up to whoever's going to hear it. The Lord will allow whoever's going to hear it to hear it.
Yes.
But I mean, that's just very, very interesting to consider.
And you should get away from anyone who makes it a practice or, records conversations with you or with other people without their knowledge or consent. That person is very troubled, very sinful, twisted, wicked, is, paranoid, and is trying to, is trying to control something that he shouldn't control. And the gospel, this is the Gospel Liberty Podcast. The gospel sets us free from having to try to create some permanent record of every conversation that we've had to make sure that, no, you said this 3 years ago and now I need to hold you to that. These are the words you used and that meant exactly that. And then the person might have, changed his view or, no, you're not understanding it rightly, but no, I have the recording from 4 years ago when you said this. It's like that type of person is very twisted.
Yes.
The gospel sets you free to just have real relationships with people. And, I thought you said that, a couple months ago. Well, what did you really mean when you said that? Oh, you meant that? Oh, okay. Yeah, that's great. That's how normal people live their lives.
For sure.
Not trying to, hold every person to every meticulous thing that they said and come up with some legal case and it's all on record and all this. That's very unhealthy at best.
Totally unhealthy for sure. I really wonder if other people have experienced this. you know,
So drop a comment if you
yeah,
had, right?
no, totally. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so intriguing to me. Like, because it's happened to us, I mean, it happens to other people, and even the term blackmail, it's like, that's very, very common, especially in politics and in government and all of that too, that, or even just high up in businesses and, millionaires. And I mean, there's just so many instances where that's just completely something that these people are considering, I'm sure, on a very regular basis. But I mean, I wonder how often. I mean, I wonder if people have ever even thought of this, and then I wonder just if this has ever happened to them, or all those thoughts too. It's just so interesting.
For sure. Yeah. If someone is committing a crime, like there are situations where this is righteous, and it's in the situation of, someone is committing a crime or acting unrighteous, and then, you're wired.
It's using for evidence or
yeah,
something.
you're a spy. Yeah, exactly.
For sure.
You're a spy. There is righteous, spies where you're going in to try to, take down a criminal.
Totally.
And you are wearing a wire, and you try to get them to, confess, and you're exercising righteous deception in that case, and you're hypocritically, in a good way, pretending to be someone, or, directing the conversation a certain way, and then, oh yeah, they confessed, they said it, and you were wired, and then you got them in a good way.
For sure.
But if it's just, regular,
just everyday
interaction
people
in
or
life.
families,
Yes.
or, someone in your church or your neighbor. I mean, yeah, that's just like, that's very, very, very weird.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I wonder what does James O'Keefe do, when he like goes undercover or whatever?
That's
like,
a good
is
example.
that something that where he has to like research these laws to like make sure that he's not breaking a law, or is it because he's a reporter?
No, he would have to be doing it in a state that allows it, because these are one part.
Totally.
He, like when he has the secret camera.
Yes.
And everything, and that might be a situation where it's righteous once again, because he's trying to expose people
something.
who are breaking the law.
For sure.
And they won't admit to it in court, but then they're admitting to it, at this bar or wherever his informants are. And that is something that is good, because they're people who are, they're in criminal activity, or it's a company that is a big vaccine manufacturer who says that, our vaccines are safe and effective. But then in reality, they're admitting on, camera that they, really didn't do the proper trials, or they did this and that, or whatever it is. But yeah, I mean, in all reality, it's the gospel that sets us free from having to think that we need to be the ones to control everything, and we need to be the ones to make everyone pay, or to get our way. Christ is going to make everything right in the end. If there's a disagreement about what someone said, 7 months ago, or 7 days ago, or 7 hours ago, even, it's not a matter of, I have it in perfect recording, and I'm going to, make sure that it's right. No, it's a matter of, this is what I heard you say, witnesses, did anybody else hear that? Okay, there's a little, disagreement of what exactly was said. That's totally fine. The Lord's going to make it all right in the end. You don't have to hold on to this and go around recording everyone so that you can always be right and, control the narrative and the situation.
Yeah, I mean, that really is the more free and joyful life, when you're not freaking out about things left and right, or living in fear, or, that you're getting recorded. There's it's just a matter of every day trusting the Lord and going about living your life. But then also, not even being around people who would ever do such a thing, that's absolutely, crazy.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, if you happen to be around someone who records, your conversations with them on a regular basis, then maybe go to your, someone you trust and communicate with them.
Well, and we do need to be aware of this. Like, if you are in a one-party consent state, like, in one sense, we don't want to be paranoid that everything we're saying is being recorded. But in another sense, we should be wise, and you shouldn't just trust, someone the first time you met them and just kind of spill all of this stuff. Because ever since, we had a situation where we were recorded, and we didn't do anything wrong in the recording by any means. I would love for everything that we said in that context where we're recorded to be, to be out. It's not, that situation isn't a massive deal to me. But it's a matter of, you might say something at some point where, what if my employer heard this? What if my, other people heard this? is that what would it be like? And maybe someday you'll get recorded and the person will try to use it and blackmail you. Hopefully not. But we should seek, call your congressman.
Totally.
Talk to your city council members. See if you can, what they think about or what they can do about this. Because if we were in a society where this wasn't allowed, then people would be more willing to talk and to share things. And honestly, I think that one-party consent is a tactic of Satan and is a tactic of the big state to get more access to more of people's lives.
Oh, man.
They want big data. They want to know every conversation that's happening, get all this stuff that's recorded, and try to take away as much privacy as you could. You think about the American War for Independence and how much easier it was back then to gather with people and to do something in secret and to make plans in secret. And now it's like so many things are tracked, so many things are recorded. It's harder to do something in secret, which once again, sometimes doing something in secret can be bad and sometimes it can be good. Just once again, think about conversations that you have with your spouse. Those are conversations that are private conversations, and it's not right for someone else to hear many of those conversations that you're having. And it's the same thing with, a business transaction, for example, or you're planning something politically. You are having private conversations. So just because when I say the word secret, that doesn't mean it's you're doing it with deviance or you're being
more
mischievous.
Just confidential.
Yes, confidential, exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, even just thinking of like, okay, but also we're believers, so we should feel very confident in what's coming out of our mouths, and we should be trying to live our lives as most glorifying to the Lord as we possibly can, knowing that ultimately the Lord hears everything.
Yes.
Jesus hears every single thing that we say. He is,
and it will all be revealed. He says
it's all going to be
nothing
revealed.
Nothing is hidden that will not be
Amen.
revealed. The scripture
so it's like
says.
Really my entire life is recorded, and it's being constantly recorded. And even knowing that, not that we have to like be freaking out and living in fear to like scare us, but it's also like a healthy reminder of how am I living my life? How am I, what the things that are coming out of my mouth, and what am I saying in my own house? Okay, with the kids, at the store, on the phone, with my neighbor, with my family, all these things. What am I doing? Or, what are we doing? I mean, it's good to be thoughtful of that. And mindful of that the Lord hears and sees all the things.
Yes.
And obviously, how can you not bring that right to the gospel? Because Amen. It's like, oh my, well,
we're all hosts.
I'm completely trashed
exactly.
then, because my life does not, add up. So
He's seen everything we've ever done. He's
and how
heard
gracious
everything we've ever said.
and kind. He just goes to the cross. He forgives us of our sin. He is so loving and gracious and merciful to us. It's just very shocking, and that's why the gospel is so shocking, and that's why we can just be encouraged in this wonderful news.
Yeah, as for Christians, he uses his perfect knowledge of everything we've ever done, everything we've ever said, every heart motivation we've ever had. He has perfect knowledge of all of those things. And he uses all of those things and all of that knowledge, not to make sure that he punishes us for every single thing we've ever done wrong, but to make sure, absolutely sure, that he wipes away every single one of those sins. That he has searched us. He has known us. Everything we've ever done is in his presence. And because of that, and because of his perfect memory and his perfect knowledge, we can be sure that he's not going to miss a sin that we've committed. That Jesus actually is going to wipe away every single one of those sins because we've done everything in his presence. And that's both a fearful thing that should drive us to Christ and the cross, and it should drive us to righteous living and not want to displease our loving Father.
Totally.
And it should also drive us to amazing gratitude and amazement and humility at his great grace that he's wiping away and has wiped away every single one of our sins for those who are trusting Christ. Thank you for joining us for this episode of the Gospel Liberty Podcast.